Okay, today we're going to look at lesson 5.2 in the Common Core Standard, represent and solve problems using multiplication and division. We're going to find unknown factors today. And remember, we said that factors are numbers that are involved in a multiplication problem. The essential question for this lesson is, how can you use an array? We talked about that being a simple drawing with rows and columns, or a multiplication table. We used those to find an unknown factor. And to work on these questions today, you're going to use your pages 185 through 188 in your Go Math book. So we will start with page 185. And it says, Tanisha plans to invite 24 people to a picnic. The invitation comes in packs of 8. How many packs of invitations does Tanisha need to buy? Looking over here, how many people is she inviting? She plans to invite 24 people. Go ahead and underline that. When I'm doing problem solving, I try to underline numbers that they ask me about so that I can quickly find them and make sure that my problem and my answer make sense using the numbers that are in the problem. And the second one says, how many invitations are in pack? Pack of 8. And be sure to follow everything. That way when you go back up here, you won't confuse 8 people with 24 invitations because you have them labeled. An equation is a number sentence that uses the equal sign to show that two amounts are equal. So remember that equation means equal. Okay? So it's going to have something equaling. A symbol or a letter can stand for an unknown factor. You can write the equation n times 8 equals 24 to find out how many packs of invitations Tanisha needs. Find the number n that makes the equation true. One way you can solve this is to use an array. Okay, so you're going to show an array with 24 tiles with 8 tiles in each row. Okay, so they have started it for us. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is our row of 8. Now we need to keep counting until we get up to the number of people that she is inviting. Okay, so we have 8, 9, 10. Keep drawing until you get to 24. And if you want to change them to X's to make it a little bit faster and easier, you can certainly do that as long as you stay lined up with your rows and your columns. So I have 8 here, and 8 here to equal my 24. There are how many rows of tiles did we just make? So we have 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 8. We know, so there are 3 rows of 8 tiles. So the unknown factor is 3, which shows us that n equals 3. Now you're going to check it and make sure that it makes sense. Because in this white space over here, you're going to do 3 times 8. You can use your strategy of knowing that doubles. You know that 2 times 8 equals 16. So 16 plus another 8 2. So we know that 3 times 8 is 24. So yes, our equation 24 does equal 24 when we checked it. So we know that she needs 3 packs of invitations. You'll notice more and more as you get into more algebraic thinking and equations that they're going to always ask you to check and to always prove that that number makes sense in your equation. So always make sure you're checking. We know that it also makes sense because each row represents 1 pack of 8 invitations. The factor 8 is the number in each row. So the unknown factor n is the number of rows in the packs. Looking at our next page. An unknown factor will usually be represented by a letter. And it doesn't matter what letter that is. You'll see N a lot, you'll see X a lot, you'll see A, and sometimes they'll even use symbols just to make sure that you understand the entire concept. So another way we can solve that problem of how many invitations is that we can start with the column 8 and look down it until you get to 24. Then you're going to look left, so going backwards, to find out what multiple you times 8 by to get to that 24. So your unknown factor is 3. Okay. So here they use the symbol of a square. So the square equals 3. And we just proved that 3 times 8 equals 24 on the last page that we just did. And we know that this is a true statement, 3 times 8 equals 24. So 24 equals 24, we know that we're right. Now, it wants to know how you can use the number, how you can use the commutative property to check your answer. We know that 3 times 8 equals 24, but what is 8 times 3? Again, looking down your 3, so you find 24. Going back, we know that 8 times 3 equals 24. So now we know we are definitely right. Show and share. Number 1, what is the unknown factor shown by this array? So we know that it's 5 times something. So your unknown factor is this square again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're thinking it might be 5 times 7 equals 35. Now you're going to check yourself. If you count by 5, does it equal 35? Doing it this way, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we know that the square is equal to 7. On the bottom, find the unknown factor. You'll see you have a D on some, a B on some. This is what we were talking about. You can use several different things. You can use shapes. You can use letters. Please complete this portion of the page. Something times 3 equals 27. You can easily use the chart at the top to prove it. So again, you're going to find your 3 column, and you're going to go down until you find 27. There's 27. And then go to the left to find what your multiple is. So we know that 9 times 3 equals 27. So D times 3 equals 27, with D being 9. These were always some of my favorite equation type things to do. If I look at the row of 6, I'm going to go down until I get to 30, and go left to get to this. 6 times triangle equals 30, so triangle equals 5. I also know that this one makes sense because it ends, 30 ends in a 0. And you know that multiples of 5 always end in a 0 or a 5. Would you please complete the rest of this page? At the end of the lesson, you will correct it in the teacher's manual. So go ahead and finish this page. If you get stuck or need help, just go back to the beginning of the lesson and play it again and see if you can come up with a strategy. You're going to complete this page, move on to the next page, which is totally on your own to find the unknown factor. So a couple of practice problems. Make sure that you can prove it, and you have all of the space underneath here to show your work. Show your work, show your work, show your work. Make sure that you can prove it. Use your number chart if you need to. Draw arrays. You have to be able to prove it. When you're finished with this one, you will check it at the end of the recording. Right now, you're going to leave those 2 pages to complete, and you're going to move on to our problem-solving page. I am now on page 188. So you have left 87 and 186 to do at the end of this. Problem solving. Use the table for 36 through 40. So let's spend some time real fast at the beginning of this. Whenever it tells you to use the table, you need to study the table and figure out what the table is telling you. The title of my table is Picnic Supplies. I have items that are used for a picnic. We have bowls, cups, tablecloth, napkins, and forks. We have the number of each one of those things per pack. So 6 bowls in a pack, 8 cups in a pack, 1 tablecloth per package, 36 napkins in a pack, and 50 forks in a pack. Our final column tells us the cost in dollars. Okay, bowls cost $10, cups cost $3, tablecloths cost $2, napkins are $2, and forks are $3. Using that information, we are going to solve equations for problems 36 through 40. Tanisha needs 40 cups for the picnic. How many packs of cups should she buy? Look at this fabulous title on top of this white space. It says should, and that is exactly what we are going to do. Tanisha needs 40 cups. So we need to find how many packs will she need to buy. So we have 8 times, let's just use n, equals how many she totally needs for our equation. She needs 40. So we have to find out the unknown number here, which I just made as n. 8 times what equals 40? We already know it ends in a 0, so we could possibly use it as a factor of 5. 8 times 5, let's just test it. We have 8, we're going to count by 5, 8 times, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So n is going to equal 5. So she needs 5, and we're going to label it just like it asks us. It asks us how many packs, so we need 5 packs of cups. And now, since I've used my white space and shown my work, I know that my answer makes sense. And if I need to go back and fix something, it'll be nice and written out, that it'll be easy to fix. I'm going to draw a line across. You could even label this as 36, in case we end up getting messy. Moving on to number 37. Says, Tanisha needs 40 bowls for the picnic. Here's another. Explain how to write an equation with a letter for an unknown factor to find the number of packs she should buy. Then find the unknown factor. So it's asking us to do 2 things. It wants us to write an equation, then find the unknown factor. So, number 37. She needs 40 bowls, so something has to equal 40 here. Write an equation. We don't know how many to buy, so that's going to be our n. And how many bowls come in a pack is 6. So something times 6, we want to get close to 40. So it ends in a 0, so let's just test our 5 theory again. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we know that 5 times 6 equals 30. That's not enough to get us to the 40 yet. So let's just start adding 6's. Plus 6 would be 5 times, 6 times 6, not 5's. Stuck on 5's. 6 times 6 would be 36, because I'm adding another group of 6. Still not enough, so let's do 6 times 7 by adding another 7 here using my known facts. 6 plus 6 is 12. 1 plus 3 is 4. So I'm above the number that I needed to get, but I would rather have more bowls with 2 left over than not enough. So I know that n needs to equal 7. 7 times 6 equals 42. So she needs to buy, you're going to say n equals 7. And our equation was n times 6 equals 30. If n equals 7, then she would be buying, this is 42, guys, sorry. We know that she needs to be buying 7 packs of bowls. Okay? And then she would have 2 left over. Let's see if I can explain the next one a little bit less confusing. Miss Hill buys 3 tablecloths and 2 packages of napkins. How much does she spend? So this is going to be a multi-step problem here. She buys 3 tablecloths. So if we look at the tablecloths, we have to do how much they cost, which is $2, times how many she's going to buy, which is 3. So this is $6 for tablecloths. I'm just going to put the T. And 2 packages of napkins. 2 packages, again, they're $2 times 2 packages equals $4. And then add that together. 6 plus 4 equals 10. She spends $10. Okay, our higher order thinking ones, they're going to probably ask us to do a little bit more work. What if Randy needs an equal number of bowls and cups for his picnic? How many packs of each will he need to buy? So he wants the same number of bowls and cups, but bowls and cups don't come in the same number per package. They come in 6 and 8. So we need to think, what number do these two both belong in the factor family? So I'm going to start by counting by just making a list of 6's. So I have 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 6 is 24, plus 6 is 30. And I'm just going to stop there, just hoping that I can catch another factor. And count by 8s this time, so I'm going to start with 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. They don't have anything in common yet. Plus 8 is 24. Oh, they both have 24. Thankfully, I'm done early that time. So I'm looking at, I want 24 of each. So how many packages of bowls is he going to need to buy? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 packages of bowls. And how many packages of cups? 1, 2, 3. And they are all going to equal 24. And since I took the time to write it all out, that's where I have my work shown, so I am done with that problem. Number 40. Lori buys 200 forks. She gives the cashier $20. How much change should she get? So, first of all, I need to clean up our page a little bit. But I'm not going to erase any of the work that I've already written down because that's how we go back and find our simple mistakes if we make them. So Lori buys 200 forks. Forks come in a package of 50. So again, I'm going to think, how many packages do I need? Times 50 equals 200. Think about how many 50s equals 100. So 2 times 50, that is money. Twice as much, I'm going to double that double. So I know that 4 times 50 equals 200. Now I'm going to take the total cost up here, $3, 3 times 4 to equal $12 that she spent. But that's not what they're asking us. They want to know how much change she should get from that $20. So now you're going to do 20 minus 12. Go ahead and solve what 20 minus 12 is and fill that in right there. And then you're going to test your skills for number 41 with the unknown factor. At this time, you are going to make sure you have this page completed and done. You're going to go back and you're going to do that on your own page. You're going to go back and you're going to finish the factors there. And then you are going to move on to your math journal. Math journal prompt question today is explain why does it not matter what letter or symbol is used to find an unknown factor. So on your journal page, you're going to start with writing lesson 5.2 and then the date. You're going to copy this here. Then you're going to give me your answer. It does not matter what letter or symbol is used to find an unknown factor because, and then give me an example. Okay? And you are done for the day. Then make sure you check those with me. You are finished with math chapter 5.2. If you need to go back and review anything, or if you missed anything when you corrected, please circle them, go back and review it, and then let's chat about it.